Hey guys, what's up, Productions here, and welcome back to this brand new vlog. And today is a good one, because today we are at my favorite track, which is Kerpen in Germany. I love this track. So even though it's in a completely different country, it's only like 2 hours drive for me, so that's not really that bad. Right now we've just arrived. I don't have to build up the kart, it's just a matter of putting fuel in the thing and air in the tires, and then it's time to go. Alright my boys, welcome to Circuit Erftlandring Kerpen. This track really is a special one for me. Now guys, I'm sorry about the audio, I know it sounds a little bit weird, but that's because I've now got a case for the GoPro and I actually forgot to replace the waterproof door. Next time however, the sound will be back to normal. Anyways guys, before we move on, I would like to remind you guys that if you're still enjoying these videos, then I would appreciate it enormously if you would consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. For you it's only a couple of clicks, but for me it literally means that I can keep doing this amazing sport. The 10k mark is really getting close now and I would like to hit that before the end of this month. So you know what you gotta do, hit those buttons down there. Anyways, this first session was just getting used to everything again. I hadn't driven this thing in about 3 weeks at this point, but despite of that, if we actually skip a little bit ahead, you can see that the speed was actually not too bad. Let's look at one more hot lap of this session. So that was the first session. Pretty good, pretty good. There are however a few problems. First of all, I hit one of those rubber things, but yeah, that's quite a common occurrence here in Kerpen. Luckily, if you put a bit of fuel on your towel, you can easily wipe this off. Another thing that happened, which is completely my fault, is that actually you can see the this gear shifted all the way to the right, so the chain, you know, is bent. I'm lucky that it didn't completely ruin my chain and my gears, so that's lucky, so I have to put that back. Also, I'm actually running the grey engine right now and it actually has quite a decent bit of power. I changed the spark plug and now it suddenly runs a whole lot better. So that's good. Also, what we are going to do is change the front track width. We're going to do it a little bit wider so that it actually picks up better, because I think it's just a matter that it doesn't pick up quite as good. All in all, pretty decent. Yeah, I'll see you in the next session. I think I'm going to switch to the helmet cam, so see you then. In this session the kart felt a whole lot better, and I think you can see that by the way I'm pushing the kart actually. I'll now show you the best lap and some extra footage with some external footage that my dad actually recorded. Alright guys, that was pretty good. Managed to improve my lap time by about 2 or 3 tenths. As you guys can see here, 45.6, 45.6, 45.7, that's pretty good. But the theoretical best time was a 45.4, so we can improve on that a little bit. Another thing that I've noticed is that the grey engine is actually running pretty okay. We get the maximum revs, 117 kph top speed, that's good. So we're going to go one lower on the gear, so we can get a little bit more top speed. Also, we still got a slow carburetor on there, so yeah, the misfiring is still going on in the bumpy sections, but we can get rid of that as well if we move to the quicker carburetor. So let's do that, and then I'll see you guys after the break.
So for this day I only had one set of used tires, which were now going off the cliff. This meant I dropped back by around 4 tenths and the back end started to slide a lot. If we actually look at this slow motion replay, we can see that the kart picks up nicely initially, but after that the rear wheel lands too early and that causes the back end to slide. So we were a little bit off the pace, but that's okay. We know why that is. Also, this day was just meant to do a load of laps and that's what I did anyway, so it really didn't matter that much.
Alright my dudes, so that was the next session. Yeah, the track was actually quite a bit slower. We actually ended up being almost half a second slower than what we were in the previous session. That's mainly due to the track being slow, but also take a look at my rear tires. Yeah, that's pretty much gone. This one still has a little bit of rubber, but this one doesn't. Actually weird, that normally the inside of the tire is wearing the most, but now it's actually the outside, so that's interesting. One thing I could do is actually change the left and the right rear tire. That's possible. Then, well, the most worn tire is on the inside, which does a lot less work, so I'm thinking I'm going to do that. Need to tighten the chain again, and after that I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour of the paddock, because this is quite an amazing place and I will tell you all about it. Alright guys, let's do a little walk of the paddock, because this place, it's full of history. I think this track was created somewhere like in the 60s, I'm not really sure, because well, the website's in German and my German is not the best. But I think it was created by Schumacher's dad. So yeah, Michael and Ralph spent a lot of time testing here. And later on also, of course, Seb Vettel spent a lot of time here. So this is the restaurant where all the great German drivers have been. Vettel, Schumacher, both Schumachers actually, Mick Schumacher of course. And in there it's absolutely full of pictures. I don't know if you can see it, but it's full of pictures of all of these great drivers. And for me personally, this track also has quite a special place in my heart, because I did my first Dutch championship here. I got my first podium here, and yeah, so yeah, I just love this track. Here you can see a map of the circuit. Start finishes here. Then of course you have the first flat out right hander, which isn't really a corner. Then a right hand hairpin, which is quite a heavy braking zone and a pretty good overtaking spot. Then you have to make your way to the right here, and then we have this left-hander. As you guys have probably noticed, most corners at this track are left-handers. Then you go up the hill into the forest, and then this is the best overtaking spot. Then you have these chicanes in the forest. Then you have another super fast left-hander. Then here you get up to another chicane where you have to absolutely demolish that curb into the Von Tripskurve. Then we have this straight here, which is all the way back there, and actually from here it's flat out all the way through there, as you could have probably told on the footage. But let's look at the corner. This corner is actually called the Gemoedskurve, and that actually means a bravery corner, because for such a long time I did not believe this corner was flat, but as you saw on the footage, it's an easy flat with this one. Then going down into the most famous corner of the entire track, which is the Michael Schumacher chicane, and here it's just another case of demolishing every curb, going into the final turn. It's actually quite tricky to get this corner right, because you have to carry a lot of entry speed, and then the back end tends to step out a little bit. And the name of this corner is called the Fahrerlagerkurve. And then that's a lap of Kerpen. So let's have a little look at some other parts of the paddock. I'm actually back here on the track where you can see the entire foresty bit, because it's actually quite hard to see from where we are located right now. Now what I love about this circuit is just the natural feel it has to it. Wait, let me show you. This is actually the best spectating spot out of the whole track. Now you can actually also see how much elevation change there is in this track. Here you have the super fast left-hander. Then you go all the way back up here to the best overtaking spot. I think this part of the track is a good 3 or 4 meters higher than the apex of that corner back there. And here you just go into the forest, and the first time you can get out of it is after that super fast left-hander. So let's head back now, because I actually have to drive myself. I'm going to leave the GoPro off now for a bit, because otherwise it won't have enough battery. So I'll catch up with you guys when I've done my next session. Alright my dude, so that was another 2 sessions done and dusted. Yeah, it's going pretty okay, I think. My tires are absolutely dead. So yeah, I was struggling a little bit with the grip. My second session was actually the quickest. I did a 45.6, and yeah, after that I just struggled to improve. I've been doing 46.0, 46.0, 45.9, just continuously. There really isn't that much more in there. So yeah, I do have a new set of tires, but I didn't want to use that today, because yeah, it would be quite a bit wasteful. And actually in the first session my rib protector was moving during driving, so I actually hurt my ribs and I still feel it. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. But also, as you can see on the footage, this track is quite intense with curb usage, so that your ribs really feel that after a while. Back in the day, they used to be even higher. They actually flattened them when Schumacher ended up in the hospital because he wanted the curbs to be this high, but then when he lost his say in the track, they actually flattened them a little bit. So now I'm heading off to the grandstand next to the Gemoedskurve, or the Moedskurve, I don't know what it's called. And well, that's another really cool spot to spectate from, because from there you can actually see the entire track. Yeah guys, this really is one of my favorite places in the world. Yeah, it will always be in my heart, of course. And actually there were some talks that was going to be demolished a few years back because there are quite a bit of natural resources below the ground here. And one of the mining companies actually already bought the land here. And it was going to go away, but then last minute they decided to reverse that decision, and now it's yeah, the track is here to stay, luckily. Yeah, I just really love coming here. I like the layout, I like the atmosphere, I like the history of the track. Yeah, it's just a great track. So I'm going to do one more session now and then I'll call it a day.
Going out on the track now, I knew this session was not going to be that interesting because the tires were absolutely ruined. Because of this, I just wanted to see if I could be consistent for a longer period of time on absolutely dead tires. And that went pretty well, I think. I think I did like 30 or 40 laps and most of them were 46 zeros. Let's ride on board for one more lap before we go home.
Guys, that was the end of today. I've just loaded everything back into the van, and with that also comes the end of this video. Now guys, if you enjoyed that, then remember to please hit those like and subscribe buttons. You guys know that you will help me a lot with that. If you want to see more videos like this, then there's a playlist right here with all kinds of karting vlogs. Anyways guys, this video is done and I'll see you next time. Peace.